And here we are, all the Ripoff Artists, all together on the same screen.
We're virtually all together.
Yeah, virtually, we are virtually all together. That's right.
Yeah.
So let's raise our glasses virtually
Here.
and realistically.
Cheers.
Cheers. And a great week.
Yes.
Yes, a great week ahead.
Here's to Marc Chagall.
Yes, absolutely.
And to Marc Chagall.
I'll drink to that.
I think he's going to leave his mark on us by the end of the week.
I think-
Oh. Bad Russell.
But So who has their pre-piece finished?
I do.
I do.
I can show.
I don't.
I've got it with
Okay.
me.
I got it right here.
Tara has hers up. There we
I
go.
got
That's
mine
great.
there.
Nice.
You want to tell us about that?
Yeah, it's the bride that I did, and in acrylic and some charcoal, and it's probably, from all the reading I've done, one of his most iconic pieces. It debuted in 1999 in Notting Hill, the movie. It was part of that movie, so that a lot of people got familiar with Marc Chagall from that, and just really like the bride in the red dress and the image that's hugging her from the back, and the little doll houses and the circus and the farm animals, and I like the folk art feel of his work, and it was fun. It was a fun process.
Wow,
That's
that's great.
Cool. Very nice.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, thank you. And who else wants to talk?
I got my.
I have 5.
That's a very fine.
Such an overachiever.
There's one in every group.
I know, right?
This is the first one, of course, the rabbi. It's a beautiful portrait of a rabbi. And I inserted this thing because he was a little bit sad, I guess. So I included this little horsey over there for him. That's number 1. Number 2 is this that I really, really like. This is the dream. Remember this one?
Oh yeah.
Dream with the upside down landscape over here on top. And a very funny animal mix of donkey and rabbit, I think. I didn't change it. This is, I tried to copy as much as possible. I only put this, included this, but he was not there. But it's also from another Chagall painting, this little angel.
Wow.
So that's number 2. All of these are in paper with acrylics.
Ah,
Number 3 is this that I really like.
Oh, that's really nice.
The night town or something like that. I don't remember the title. It is Chagall painted this when I was already living in America, in the United States, but it has all the reminiscence of his little town in Russia. What is the name, Johan?
Vitebsk.
Something like that, yes. So all this is the little village and the couple. I like have you noticed that Chagall likes to paint green faces in people also? He has several paintings with green faces. I haven't figured out why, but he likes that touch. It's very interesting. So that is number 3. Number 4 is also the one that this is just a part of his paradise. Was Adam and Eve. Can you see it? Yes. Adam and Eve and the serpent, of course. This is a larger painting with a lot of other characters around. But I like to do just those characters. And an interesting thing, if you see this face, reminds you of somebody. It's a
That's
very
Bella.
same girl as in the circus that we are making, isn't it?
Yep.
Look at that. Very much the same and same colors.
I
And the
have the
last
same-
one, this is a strange one.
I think that's 5, Roberto.
5. Oh, yeah, number 5.
Number 5. That's really cool.
No, it's like that.
Whoops.
Is the falling angel. Again, a lot of. I've noticed that Chagall likes very much to include horses and chickens
Chicken.
or roosters, right? And they're usually playing violins or trumpets or things like that. And why he has the falling angel and with some Christian symbols here and all that mix of characters. This is from the Jewish background. He liked to mix up a lot of things. It's so incredible. Not only the colors, but in the themes that he mixed up is unbelievable. So that's the 5th one. And my warm-up piece for the starting just playing with the circus. That's just the lady, and she uses the same face.
Oh.
But I don't have yet. Well, I have the idea already what I want to do. That's it.
Great. Well, that's enough.
Wow.
That's a lot. That's a lot. So Marion, you were also going to talk. So
Right.
should
well,
go next.
This is the picture that I chose. Lovers in the Sky was done 1928 to 1930. This is my piece. And again, it has the buildings of Budapest, which he did from memory of his youth, and the floating lovers in the sky, and their expression of dreamlike love. That's kind of drew me in too. That I like that, and yeah. So his roses. He does a lot of the flowers in his picture, and often they're very large. And there's a few other elements in there. Torn paper. I used a few mixed media types of that I wanted to just experiment with, that I might use it in my main piece. The snow in here, I dried coffee and mixed it with gel and white paint, and it makes a kind of a snowy.
Mhm.
It worked out really well, so I was quite happy about that. A hell of a lot cheaper than buying golden. Yeah. So yeah, I quite liked this scene, and yeah.
Very nice, Marion.
Wow, that's great. I love that texture.
Yeah.
You can hear it when you rubbed your hand on it. I could hear
Yes.
it.
Mhm.
And it stayed on very well. I was quite pleased.
Very nice.
Mhm.
Great. All right, who's next? Anybody
Well,
else?
I can introduce Marc Chagall.
Sure, go ahead.
So my pre-piece was to experiment. I'll just move in. I'm not sure if you're going to get any flicker, but this is a self-portrait of Chagall, and I like the way that he had sort of simplified the elements of his face, and that led me to choose this piece to interpret as a three-dimensional piece. So just to go back, last year Marion gave me a pair of these chroma depth 3D image glasses, and then I went to their website to be very pleasantly surprised to see how you can produce a three-dimensional image from a single image. And so long as the colors are well defined in areas, you get a very realistic three-dimensional image. Now, when I put them on and looked at some of my Marilyn images, some of those, once again, because they've been sort of posterized, also lend themselves, and they have this three-dimensional element to them. So I decided that I would take the self-portrait and render it, his face, so that you've got 2 dimensions, X and Y, but the 3rd dimension is the color spectrum. And it ranges from red, which is the closest, through to violet and ultimately black, which is interpreted by your brain as being furthest away. So when I view Chagall now, suddenly he springs to life as a 3-dimensional image. And so that's what's been kind of neat, is to create the zones with his nose red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, and then I used this element here, black. So I took his self-image, desaturated the whole thing, so that I ended up with sort of a gray, white, like almost like a grayscale image from that original painting, and then started again. So I'm pretty excited. So now the challenge will be to take the trapeze artist and render that as a 3-dimensional image this year. So new technology for me, and boy, I've just done it.
Great.
Russell,
Yes?
you were going to see about whether you could order some more of those 3D glasses. Did you find out anything about that?
No, because I haven't at this stage at all. No, I've only got the 1 pair, thank you. Once COVID hit, I knew that the probability of
Right.
there being the Fall Art Show and stuff was fading. Now, of course, that's been postponed or cancelled for this year. So I have not yet looked at getting a supply of those.
I had some 3D glasses, I think, from a movie. And,
Right, and this-
they don't work at all. When I looked
Right,
at the
now-
Facebook page.
Yeah, now this
Those
is the
ones
other
do, but the
type
other
of
ones-
3-dimensional rendering.
Yeah,
You can
and
have
this,
red, blue.
right. So when I
Uh,
have it, they're gray. Both lenses are gray. And
Right,
it
now-
is 3D, but it didn't work.
Yeah, and this is done through an interference pattern with very, very fine lines on this. And I did try looking through my phone at the image, but of course you actually have to look through both lenses on this chroma depth in order to get it to work. So there's a challenge: how to make a 3D image and have you view it over the internet. So there we are. Marc Chagall, our artist for the year.
Excellent.
Nice, really nice.
Great.
Well, I didn't finish it, but I did bring it. My
Excellent.
work in progress.
Oh, a horse.
Of course.
This is the horse from the Blue Circus.
Ah,
So I'm doing like a 3-piece a 3-piece set with the girl on the trapeze, and then I'm going to have some panels in the back.
Very cool.
At least that's the plan today. And this is the horse. It's going to have some eyes. I've got glow in the dark eyes made. Oh, and the feet here it's glow in the dark Sculpey.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so I've got all this glow in the dark stuff, and I've been waiting for a project to use it. So this year,
And
things are gonna glow.
and what's your material, Terry?
It's there's a couple of materials. There's a green. It's cotton. There's a green cotton that's got leaves and flowers on it, and then there was a peacock material. I think it's kind of like rayon or something. And then I've taken blue wire and wired it on.
And so you had a frame to start with.
I made a wire frame.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
mm.
Yeah.
Amazing.
That's my guy.
Yeah. Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, I loved your drawing that I posted on Facebook
Oh,
yesterday,
yes,
where you
yes.
had gravity defying hair on
Yeah.
the girl on the trapeze.
I had remembered that hair as flowing like down. And then in the spring, I looked at it and I thought, oh my God, that hair isn't flowing down. How am I going to do that? I still don't know, but I have a feeling felting might be involved.
Anything's possible in art.
Mhm.
Right.
All right, who's next?
I can show what I've done. It's
Sure.
not finished either, but so I'm painting on a wooden box. I like to paint on like non-traditional materials. And originally I thought I was going to just try to finish maybe the front of this for my pre-piece. But I think what I'm going to do is each side of the box is going to tell a different story about the performance. And I'm going to take different Chagall animals and performers and have them kind of interacting with each other on the various sides. And then looking at a lot of his symbolism, I noticed that uses a lot of like instruments and stuff. So I think that it's all about the love of performing, and the inside of the box is going to have like artifacts that will represent that. So
Oh,
that's kind of what I'm thinking.
Oh,
Yeah.
Very cool.
yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing. Where did you get the box? I love that box.
One of the students at the high school made it, and then they didn't want it, so I bought it from them.
Great.
So reusing a little bit too. That's good.
I thought maybe it might be a lunchbox.
Nope.
Lunchbox.
It's a special magic box, magic circus box now.
Yeah.
Very cool. So Kurt and Leo, what have you got for show
well,
and
I don't
tell?
know. Should I start with my idea to make etching?
Sure.
sure. Yeah, I'd love to hear.
Okay. I had in a book I saw some etchings created by Chagall, and then I remembered that I bought a small printing press years ago, was still in a box. So I thought, well, that's the moment to use it, install it, and it will add a technical challenge to me. And then I thought I could perhaps take, can I show it here? One of his fiddlers, Chagall fiddlers,
Oh,
and
yeah.
then try
Yeah.
to transform it into a circus artist too. So then I would have two artists on the same plate. I used acrylic glass plate, and so then I printed the whole thing. I could perhaps just show the plate. So I carved it. I don't know if you can see it in a way. It's quite, yeah, perhaps you can see it a little bit. I carved it with this kind of needle here. Can you
Hold it
see
really
that?
still, Kurt, because
Somehow?
your video is breaking up. So if you
Okay,
can
yeah,
hold
yeah,
it
or
really
my,
still.
okay, yeah, like this perhaps.
Sure.
And then I carved it in this plate, and then I printed it. But perhaps it was my first print on this press, and so that's a dry point etching. You can
Just barely
perhaps
see
see it.
it.
It's
Difficult
yeah.
to do.
So on the drawing it will be it's perhaps easier to see. So on the drawing here, you see it's perhaps easier to see the whole drawing.
Okay. Yeah.
And then I think I will then work on this idea for this week, and paint a background, and then have these two circus artists, and then you can choose. You can put the lady into the painting, or you could put the fiddler into the painting. And so it's a little kind of interactive. You can play with it, and that's the idea for this week.
Great.
I like it.
Very nice.
Very cool.
How
So,
big?
Kurt,
Well, we'll see.
so Kurt, I have a question. Do you have to etch it
Yeah.
with a needle, or could, if it's an acrylic, like Perspex, could you use a solvent that would achieve the same thing? Or do you not have would you not have as much control with that?
Yeah, well, a long time ago in Switzerland, I used what you usually use, that's copper plates.
Yes,
And then
yes,
yeah,
I
then
know
you
that.
use chemicals and you do all this stuff. Yes, but on acrylic, I don't know. I just had the idea. I don't like to buy chemicals and then to have to get rid of this stuff. So I thought, oh, let's just make a dry point. You can make a dry point also on a copper plate, that's for sure. But so I
Yeah.
don't know. No, I just left it, and you could perhaps make 10 prints, and then yeah, it's a little soft. So you would
So
have to recarve it, perhaps, if you would like to make more prints.
Okay.
So you can use, you've got plexiglass that you're carving into. Is it a sheet of plexiglass?
Yeah, interestingly, I could find that at Opus in Kelowna. They have special plates.
Oh, not
Oh.
And
just
the nice
plexiglass.
thing,
What did you ink it up with?
yeah, it's a special, it's quite thick. Oh, yeah, well, that's I can show it. Normally for etchings, you would use something oily, but I just use this
Oh,
block print. It's water usable, so
It's a
soluble.
printing.
So it's you can just clean it. You can clean it with water, and it's just water, and you don't have to mix it or to clean it with some kind of special cleaner.
that's good.
Yeah, it's water soluble block print.
I tried a few years ago to try and etch on plexiglass, and it wasn't successful. I
Yeah.
didn't have a printing press, but I tried driving over it with my car, and it still didn't work, so I gave up.
Marion.
Oh wow, that's very innovative. Yeah.
Well, now we know a guy who has a printing press.
Yes.
So
Yes.
Right. Yes. It's a small one, so make just smaller, like, well, not too big plates, so then we can print it.
Yeah.
But it's not a huge press, so that's not a professional one.
but still better than no printing press. That's great.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm happy with it. It's the first time that I've used it. Thanks to Chagall and his etchings, so I got the idea to, well, go into the basement and get the box with the printing press.
Cool.
Great.
Very cool.
Yeah. Leo, do you have your piece handy?
When you made a video of
Very nice.
Mhm.
Very cool.
Do you want to talk to
The
us about
boat-
it?
The boat reminded me of the boat in the Scream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the sun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very cool. I love the colors in that.
Now that's for a stage play, is it not?
Yeah.
Yeah. So wow.
Yeah, the original is over 30 feet long. So if you watch when you watch the video of Leo that's on our YouTube channel, right at the beginning, you can see two of the backdrops that Chagall painted, and this is one of them.
It's humongous.
okay.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Well, I guess it's down to me now. So I did I don't know if you can see that.
Oh,
So it's
yeah.
it's called Sirène et Poisson, mermaid and fish, and it's from it's actually the original was a lithograph, and he did a series called Côte d'Azur in the early 1960s. So I just loved this. I mean, partly because we did the mermaid back in 2014 when we did Mimi Perron. Oh, she's coming off. This is she's just up there temporarily because this is supposed to be 3D. So I have to figure out how to suspend her in midair.
And it's supposed to be swimming over there in the air.
Yeah, well, she's swimming in the air. That's right.
Very nice.
So, but what I think is fascinating is, I mean, first of all, what really drew me was this fish. I just love the way he's looking at her. Like, he just loves her. He just adores her. He's just got this lovely, almost look like he's smiling at her. But then if you notice, here's the moon, but the reflection of the moon is here and it's red. So it's actually a reflection of the bouquet that she's holding, which I thought was really cool. So these are all on one level, and then this palm tree is a second level. And then I'm hoping I can get her to actually float using fishing line. The fish is already glued down just because I thought I have too many moving parts at this point. But I had a lot of,
Joanne,
yes?
If you put a small spring behind her at the center of gravity, then she would likely have sort of a dynamic element.
Swimming.
Swimming.
Yeah, floating in midair. Yeah, that's actually really a cool idea. I like that. So it's a good thing I didn't glue her down or do anything permanent, because that's probably a better idea than my idea. So I had a lot of fun with this, and I just love the colors. I love the, mermaids were not my thing until we did Mimi Perrant back in 2014.
Right,
And now
yeah.
all of a sudden they are. So I had a lot of fun with that.
Nice, very nice.
Great. So
It is nice.
wow. Well, we've done a great job, you guys. Look at us go. And I actually got a second video from Russell. I don't know if everybody else saw that. And by the time I got it posted on YouTube and on Facebook, he had sent me the photo of his finished piece. So some people.
It's been an active day, that's for sure, but it's been great. And that's exactly what this week's all about, to get inspired and be challenged. And when you get engaged like that, you just want to keep going and trying new things. And Photoshop is such an expansive program that it's really neat to sort of, it's one step forward sometimes, or two step forward, one step back, because that didn't work, or you try different tools. And unless you have a challenge like this, it's really hard to sort of sit down and say, well, I think I'll play around with Photoshop and try and do something. Whereas this actually focuses the mind and really gives you a challenge. And that's what I just love about this book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too. I mean, it's all of us are trying new things this time, I think. So that's really great.
So from me, hats off to Marion for the inspiration for this year's challenge.
Well, after we did Maryland last year, I was looking at Russell's poster image with the 3D glasses, and I said, "Oh, Russell, you've got to see this." So the wheels started turning. You can see them turning at times, Russell.
Yeah.
He says, I'm going to go away with this one.
And it was just amazing that we chose Chagall this year, and I think it was Norberto. Did you put him on the agenda for this year? And then when we looked at those things, I thought, yes, this is something that lends itself to this 3D.
This was Kurt, I think, isn't it?
It was one of my favorites as well. I've mentioned him a few times.
Yes, I have been in my mind for.
Oh wow, that's great.
Yep, we finally got to him. Super. All right, well,
Great.
So people are going to see this evening. They can join us for a glass and toast the rest of the week. And hopefully we will have photos to share with everyone every afternoon for the